Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into the ultimate construction project. But hey, we aren't using bricks and mortar here. We're building your financial house. If you've been following along, you know that mastering your money isn't just about memorizing random, isolated facts. It's about taking those pieces and putting them together into a structure that can genuinely weather any storm. So consider this explainer the ultimate synthesis of the whole 12-week Finlit Zambia curriculum. We're going to take everything you've learned about the Zambian economy and turn it into a robust, integrated financial architecture that you can literally start using right now.
We have reached the absolute pinnacle of the curriculum, folks. Module 4.1, the comprehensive review. This is that incredible moment where 12 weeks of deep financial theory finally transform into a tangible, actionable blueprint. We're taking all those scattered concepts from across the 4 phases of the program and snapping them together. By the time we wrap this up, you won't just have theoretical knowledge, you're going to have a highly personalized financial action plan mapped out for the next 12 months.
All right, let's take a quick look at the roadmap. To build this financial house, we're moving through 5 clear phases. First, laying the groundwork. Second, erecting the walls. Third, installing security. Fourth, the lifetime warranty. And finally, assembling the master blueprint. Let's get building.
Phase 1. Laying the groundwork. Mastering foundational skills.
Every sturdy house needs a rock-solid foundation, right? Well, in finance, that means knowing your true take-home income. And I mean after your progressive ZRA income tax, your 5% NAPSA pension contribution, and your 1% NHIMA health insurance deduction. The money left over, your net income, is the concrete you use to pour your foundation. Once you know that exact number, the 50-30-20 rule is just an incredibly effective framework for budgeting your kwacha. You basically take that net income and split it into 3 buckets. 50% goes to your absolute needs, stuff like rent, transport, and groceries. 30% is for your wants, the entertainment and lifestyle choices that actually make life fun. And a strict 20% is locked in for savings and debt repayment. Whether you like using old-school physical cash envelopes or modern mobile money wallets, this framework forces you to be intentional with every single kwacha you earn.
Moving right along to Phase 2, erecting the walls, building and protecting wealth.
So how do we build those walls? You've got to understand risk transfer, like using your NHMA contributions or private insurance to protect yourself against catastrophic losses. But you also need to actively grow your wealth through smart investing. And that always comes down to the classic risk and reward trade-off. Just look at the options we have right here in Zambia. Keeping your cash in a standard Zanaco savings account, very low risk, sure, but your return is only going to be around 3 to 8%, which, honestly, might not even beat inflation. Step it up slightly to government treasury bills, and you're taking on low to medium risk for a much better 12 to 18% return. But if you really want to aggressively build those walls, you start looking at medium to high risk options like Zambian equities on the Lusaka Securities Exchange. Just to put this in perspective, the Lusaka All-Share Index actually gained 93% back in 2022. That's huge. The main takeaway here, higher potential returns absolutely demand that you accept a higher level of risk.
Phase 3. Installing the security system, advanced tools, and modern finance.
Okay, so you've built a house, and it's full of valuables. Now it faces 2 massive threats: digital fraud and, believe it or not, the deeply ingrained flaws in our own brains. Let's talk about the internal threats first. Traditional economics likes to assume we are perfectly rational beings, but behavioral economics proves that we fall into these sneaky cognitive traps all the time. For example, there's present bias. This is where you value an immediate reward, like buying a flashy new phone today, way more than a future benefit, like saving up for next year's school fees. Sound familiar? Then there's loss aversion, where the intense fear of losing makes you stubbornly hold on to an investment that is clearly tanking. And of course, herd behavior. This is exactly how incredibly smart people end up stuck in pyramid schemes simply because everyone else is doing it. So, how do we outsmart our own brains? Pre-commitment. You have to automate your savings on payday, literally getting the money out of sight before your brain can convince you to spend it.
And recognizing those mental traps is directly linked to mastering your digital security. Because scammers, they prey on these exact biases. They manufacture fake urgency to trigger your present bias, or they use fear to trigger your loss aversion. To secure your financial house against digital threats on networks like MTN, Airtel, or Zamtel, you have to set some hard and fast rules. Use totally distinct PINs for your phone, your mobile money, and your bank account. Never ever share your OTPs, no matter who is calling. And be hyper aware of SIM swap scams, where fraudsters try to literally hijack your phone number. Ultimately, your best defense is a calm, rational system that doesn't rely on you having perfect willpower in a stressful moment.
Now for Phase 4, the lifetime warranty, long-term security, and estate planning.
Long-term security is all about zooming out and looking decades down the line. We're talking retirement, estate planning, and making sure this beautiful financial house you've worked so hard to build doesn't just crumble as you get older. Generally, your financial life breaks down into three main stages. From age 18 to 50, you are in the accumulation stage. This is go time. You save and invest aggressively. Then from 50 to 60, you shift into the preservation stage, where you dial down the risk to protect the capital you've built. And from 60 onwards, you're in the distribution stage, systematically drawing down your income. But here is the absolute crucial realization. NABSA is strictly a baseline safety net. At retirement, NABSA is really only designed to provide around 20% of national average earnings. Listen, that is a floor, not a ceiling. If you want a genuinely comfortable retirement, you've got to close that income gap yourself with private savings, and you need to start from day one of your accumulation stage.
But long-term security also means thinking about the unthinkable, estate planning. Look, without a valid will, the Zambian Intestate Succession Act steps in to dictate how your assets are distributed. And believe me, the court's formula rarely matches what you actually would have wanted. Securing your legacy is surprisingly straightforward, though. First, write a legally binding will. Second, name your beneficiaries directly for your NABSA and your life insurance policies. Did you know you can literally do this by dialing *677# right on your phone? It's that easy. Doing this simple step bypasses massive court delays and guarantees your wealth goes exactly where you want it to go.
And finally, Phase 5, the Master Blueprint, your 12-month action plan. Okay, it's time to stop learning and start doing. We've poured the foundation, erected the walls, installed the security, and locked in that lifetime warranty. This Master Blueprint takes the massive, overwhelming task of financial planning and breaks it down into 3 highly achievable steps. Step 1. Set your income baseline today. Apply that 50-30-20 rule to whatever your current net pay is. Step 2. Define 3 immediate administrative actions for the next 30 days. We aren't talking about buying complex stocks yet. We're talking about checking your credit report at TransUnion, finally opening that dedicated savings account, or getting your ZRA taxpayer identification number sorted. Then, Step 3. Lock in 3 SMART goals for the next 12 months. That could be fully funding a specific emergency fund or buying your very first government bond.
Listen, if you only take one single thing away from this entire explainer, let it be this exact quote. Start, whatever amount, today. The mathematics of compound interest are completely undeniable. Because of the way money grows on top of itself over time, a commitment of just 100 kwacha a month started today will systematically outperform 300 kwacha a month if you wait 5 years to start. The single biggest financial mistake you can ever make is sitting on the sidelines because you think your starting amount is too small.
To wrap things up, I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to test out your new financial architecture. Take a look at this question, pulled straight from the final curriculum quiz. Which cognitive bias causes people to continue investing in a failing business simply because they have already put in so much money? Is it A, the sunk cost fallacy, B, loss aversion, C, present bias, or D, the gambler's fallacy? I'll let you chew on that for a bit. Just remember, past costs are totally irrelevant to your future decisions. It's time to take control, overcome those biases, and start building your financial house today. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.